Alright guys, make sure to get yourself tucked in nicely to your blankies while we watch some lore stuff. Alright guys, let's get into it, bro. Let's go. Flashing lights and jump scares? No, not the jump scares, bro. I don't like jump scares, bro. I don't like jump scares. I don't like jump scares. I don't like jump scares.
In one place.
Is it loud, guys? I guess ready to get jump
Five Nights
scared.
at Freddy's is a franchise with over a decade's worth of content, spanning countless games, books, and now a movie. There's a reason that no matter whose timeline you watch, they all look different. Making a FNAF timeline is not easy. There are so many ways you can interpret this story, and this
You guys like FNAF? I like
mine.
FNAF actually.
So let's start.
I know I'm a pussy,
at the beginning.
and this game makes me cry.
In the 70s, a company
But the lore
called
is
Fazbear
actually
Entertainment
amazing.
got its start by creating different props and mascot costumes for carnivals, and specifically for something called the Fall Fest. The Fall Fest featured various mascot characters, such as a bird, an elephant, and the most popular of all, Fredbear and Bonnie. These specific mascot costumes were so popular,
Look under your
Fazbear
bed tonight,
Entertainment
Jay.
opened
I'll
a
be
dedicated
there jump
restaurant
scaring
for
you.
them
Oh
called Fredbear's
no!
Family Diner, featuring the same Fredbear and
Not
Bonnie
under the
mascot
bed.
costumes from the Fall Fest.
Oh my god.
What Fazbear Entertainment didn't account for, though, was one of their animatronics from the Fall Fest going rogue,
Who is this?
ending in a giant fire, with most of everything from the Fall Fest being destroyed.
Oh my god. Wait, it... Whoa. Yo, this video kind of tough though. Look at this shit. It's like a whole movie. Wait. Guys, lock in, bro. Lock in, bro. This is actually kind of... It's got... I know this gotta go hard, bro. Holy shit. Damn. FNAF lore, you say? Yes, Gani. We're watching some FNAF lore.
The specifics about the animatronic
I was gonna
that
ask, like,
rode
where
in
this is from, by the
fire
way.
are unknown and will likely be revealed next year in FNAF's next big release. Although we don't know much about how this fire occurred, we do know that after the fire, Fazbear Entertainment started phasing out of the mascot costume era. They needed something new. The two men who helped found Fazbear Entertainment, William Afton and Henry
Purple
Ellis,
guy.
stepped up to the plate. William Afton was mostly the businessman of the two, handling
guy.
all of the money, while Henry was
Go
the
to
more
lore, yeah, bro.
creative one,
FNAF
with
lore is
him
so
being in
tough. It
charge
actually
of
is so
building
tough, bro.
most of the animatronics and props for the company. With the Fall Fest era of the company coming to a close, they were only left with Fredbear's Family Diner, the standalone restaurant created for the Fredbear and Bonnie
It's not a pizzeria
characters.
yet?
In order to replace the mascot versions of Fredbear and Bonnie, Henry went to work on new versions of the characters, eventually creating the new Fredbear and Spring Bonnie. The same characters, but with new designs and new suits. Henry called them Springlock suits. These suits are able to double as both an animatronic and a suit that the employees could wear. To switch the suit from animatronic mode to suit mode, the employees could
That's so
use a
scary,
hand crank
bro.
to pull back the animatronic parts, leaving room for them to climb inside. The spring locks that were helping to hold back those animatronic
Like, what if
parts
they get
were very
stuck
sensitive, though,
inside?
and with even a little bit of moisture, the spring locks could potentially snap shut, crushing and killing whoever was inside. But if that ended up
What
happening,
the-
Fazbear Entertainment had some common sense procedures set in place.
In the case that the spring locks come loose while you are wearing a suit, please try to maneuver away from populated areas before bleeding out, as to not ruin the customer experience.
That is
Fredbear's
crazy.
Family Diner ended
What?
up being super successful.
Yeah, bro, make sure you
for
just go to
William
an
and
isolated
Henry,
area
so
where you
much
die,
so
bro.
that other companies tried replicating it. Another company proceeded to rip off Fazbear Entertainment's old mascot characters by creating their own animatronic versions of them. The leader
dare
of the
they.
group was Ned Bear, a direct
Ned.
copy of Fredbear, followed by a hippo, an elephant, and a frog. All characters from the
I thought that
Fall
was a
Fest,
fucking
and
crocodile,
all
bro.
with slightly different designs to avoid copyright issues.
Is that a
But
bite
while
of
the rival
87?
company was able to replicate the designs, they could not replicate Henry's state-of-the-art technology. Their robots were poorly made and had to have giant batteries with exposed wires on stage with them. Naturally, the rival company failed and ended up being bought out by Fazbear Entertainment. With all of the success from Fredbear's Family Diner, William and Henry decided to branch out and create more characters for a new restaurant. In 1983,
There you go.
William and Henry opened Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, featuring Freddy Fazbear, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy. With the opening of
This is
Freddy
the FNAF that we
Fazbear's
know and
Pizza,
love.
Fazbear Entertainment was experiencing success like they've never seen before. But with two restaurants now open at the same time, more success also meant more work for William and Henry. The duo were so wrapped up in work that they started neglecting their own families. William was the father of 3 kids, the eldest, Michael, the crying child, and Elizabeth. The crying child has yet to have a 100% confirmed name, so for this video, he will just be called the Crying Child. Meanwhile, Henry had one kid, a daughter named Charlie. The business partners spent most of their days working, so they both created different ways of taking care of their kids. Henry was the robotics genius, so he used his talents to create a new animatronic to watch Charlie for him. It was called the security puppet. This animatronic would sit by the door of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza and make sure that Charlie wasn't able to leave the building. This made it so Charlie could play at the restaurant while Henry worked, without Henry having to worry about her leaving the building or being kidnapped. The robot was linked directly to a green bracelet that Charlie was wearing. If Charlie, wearing the green bracelet, tried leaving the building, the security puppet would spring into action. William, on the other hand, was the businessman of the company. He cared more about making money, but also saving money. Naturally, he decided to just force his eldest son Michael to babysit while he was at work. Michael was mostly in charge of babysitting the Crying Child. The Crying Child didn't have many friends, but he did have a close relationship with his plushies. These plushies were of characters from his favorite show, Fredbear and Friends, Fazbear Entertainment's newest cartoon, featuring Fredbear, Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy. The Crying Child's favorite character, though, was Fredbear. He especially loved his Fredbear plushie. Although he loved the plushie version of the characters, the animatronics would soon become a different story. One day, while visiting Fredbear's family diner, the Crying Child saw something that would scar him for the rest of his life. While wandering the restaurant, he walked by the employees only room, where an employee accidentally left the door open. Inside the room was his father, William Afton, helping another employee.
Is this the bite of 87?
Through the eyes of the Crying Child, this looked like someone was literally being stuffed into an animatronic suit. The Crying Child was so young that he wasn't educated on how the mascot characters worked, so seeing a human be put inside of one terrified him. When a child experiences something traumatic, their brain naturally tries finding ways to deal with that trauma. The Crying Child's way of dealing with his trauma was by creating an imaginary friend. This imaginary friend took the form of the object he loved most, his Fredbear plushie. His new imaginary friend Fredbear followed him wherever he went, shape-shifting into flowers, hiding behind cars, and in the sewers, with nobody being able to see him except for the Crying Child. When the Crying Child was overwhelmed, the plushie would talk to him and try to calm him down. Even when the plushie wasn't around, it was still able to speak to him because it lived in his mind. While the Crying Child was dealing with the trauma of seeing what he thinks was someone being stuffed into a suit, his brother Michael was only making it worse. Michael knew about what happened with his younger brother and used it against him. Every day while babysitting the Crying Child, Michael would put on a Foxy mask, hide somewhere in the house, and jump scare his little brother.
Am I gonna get jump scared? Oh, guys, I think we're gonna get jump scared here. Is this like a whole like self-made animation? If it is, then it's pretty sick, by the way. Bro, I don't like this, bro. Can I turn on the volume? I'm taking off one of my earpiece, bro.
From the pizzeria to your living room, you no longer have to wait to sing and dance with Fredbear and Friends. Weeknights at 8/7 Central, only on.
Bro. Come on, bro. Why is it so scary, bro? Why don't like this? Bro, I need to pee, guys. You guys need to pee or not? We pausing the video, yes? Yo, can you jump scare me? Bro, just get it over with, man. It's the tension that always gets you know? Oh, Jesus Christ. Vecna? Is that Vecna? From Stranger Things? That sounds like Vecna, bro. Oh my god! Oh my god, you guys! I jump, guys. I actually jump, bro. I actually jump. Oh my god, I hate this so much, bro. Wait, why am I watching this? I'm actually.
You know he is hiding. Be careful. Tomorrow is another day. Michael wasn't the only one bullying the Crying Child, though. The local kids in the neighborhood heard about why the Crying Child was so scared of the pizzeria, even making up fake rumors related to what the Crying Child thought he saw there. You'd better watch out. I hear they come to life at night, and if you die, they hide your body and never tell anyone. But all of this bullying would come to a head on one special day. the crying child's birthday. Ironically, his birthday party was being held at Fredbear's family diner. Because he was so terrified of being at the pizzeria, he hid under the table, not knowing that Michael and his friends were nearby, planning a prank that would go terribly wrong.
Oh no, wait, what? Bro, I'm pretty sure this is like a self-made like animation, by the way. It's so sick. Holy shit.
Make sure you grab your pizza. Fredbear and Spring Bonnie will be performing in 5
It is?
minutes.
Yeah. It's like a whole movie, bro. God damn. Can you please not jump scare me anymore, though? My heart like skipped the beat, though. No, that's not good. That is horrifying, bro. Oh no!
Michael and his friends lifted the crying child up to, quote, give Fredbear a big kiss, and Fredbear bit down on him, leaving his body to go limp. Michael and his friends quickly stopped laughing. Because of Michael's immature behavior, his terrified younger brother paid the ultimate price. Although the crying child was badly hurt, he didn't immediately die. Because of the immense brain damage, he slipped into a coma. After being treated at a hospital, the crying child was taken home so he could be comfortable, surrounded by his only friends, his plushies. In the crying child's final moments, Michael decides to apologize for what he's done, saying, "Can you hear me? I don't know if you can hear me. I'm sorry." After Michael speaks, the crying child's imaginary friend Fredbear, created out of the trauma he experienced, continues doing what it's done the whole time. It comforts him, saying, "You're broken. We are still your friends. Do you still believe that? I'm still here. I will put you back together." This would be the final thing the crying child hears before he dies. The crying child's spirit would then live on in the Fredbear suit, the thing that took his life. The crying child's death wasn't just an accident. It was directly caused by Michael's recklessness. This is something that Michael could potentially face jail time for, so it needed to be covered up. Since the crying child was being kept at home, no one else knew that he ended up passing away. So William and Michael ended up burying the crying child's body in the middle of the woods where no one would find him. No
That's fucked up, bro.
No flowers, just a pile of dirt, an unmarked grave, and a lifetime's worth of guilt that Michael would have to live with. Shortly after the incident, Fredbear's family diner was quickly shut down, and Fredbear was completely wiped from existence. The Fredbear and Friends TV show turned into Freddy and Friends on tour. The Fredbear and Spring Bonnie
So Fred and Freddy is
also
different?
ended up being moved into the back room of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, mainly being used as spare suits if one of the Freddy's animatronics broke down. The death of William Afton's youngest son was a pivotal moment in this story, specifically William Afton's story. This was the first domino to fall. A father losing his son is a traumatic situation, and while any other father would take time to grieve, be sad, and properly deal with such a big loss, William Afton took a different route. Afton definitely was upset about his son dying, but it wasn't because he felt bad for his son, it was because it was embarrassing to him. William Afton was a narcissist. He had little to no empathy. All he cared about was work and comparing himself to his business partner, Henry. Henry had a wife, a kid, and a talent for robotics that Afton was utterly jealous of. The death of the crying child sent Afton over the edge because while Henry's family was still perfect, his was now broken. Henry and William had different ways of taking care of their kids, and while Afton employing his eldest son failed, Henry's security puppet succeeded. Henry's daughter, Charlie, lived on. Afton had a hard time dealing with this feeling of embarrassment. He started becoming an alcoholic, frequently visiting the local bar called Junior's. One night, though, after drinking a little too much and getting kicked out of the bar, he decided that he was going to settle the score with Henry. Afton, drunk and filled with rage, drove from the bar to Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, where he knew Charlie was being watched over by Henry's security puppet. Afton planned on risking everything to kill Henry's daughter, Charlie. He didn't care if he got caught, and he didn't care if
that is crazy.
But when Afton got to Freddy's, he noticed that Charlie was standing outside by herself. It turned out that some bullies were able to trap the security puppet in its box and lock Charlie outside the building, giving Afton the perfect opportunity to kill Charlie outside of the pizzeria. The security puppet was eventually able to escape its box and went looking for Charlie. As Afton sped away, the puppet noticed that Charlie was outside in the pouring rain. It then did what it was programmed to do and went to protect her. But as the puppet got closer to Charlie's body, the rain started making it short circuit. It was forced to crawl its way over to her until the rain got to be too much, and the puppet shut down right next to Charlie's body. While Charlie and the puppet lay lifeless next to each other, Afton was speeding home, driving right past where he buried his son and the bar he got kicked out of. When Afton got home, he was met with his wife sitting in the living room watching TV, and Michael in his bedroom. Afton was a drunk and abusive father, and fully blamed Michael for what happened to his youngest son. Mrs. Afton tells him to leave Michael alone because he's had a tough day, but Afton doesn't listen. He goes over to Michael's room and pounds on the door, only for the door to be locked. He then makes his way around the house to try and find a way in from the outside, but once he gets to Michael's bedroom window, he notices that it's broken, and Michael was gone. Michael was so upset by what he did to his brother that he would sometimes see visions of Fredbear appear and disappear. Tonight, Fredbear appeared outside his bedroom window, and it almost felt like his brother was calling out to him from beyond the grave. This would happen frequently, and every time it did, Michael would run to the spot where they buried his younger brother, only to find that nothing had changed. His younger brother was still gone and buried in the ground. Afton knew Michael did this often, saying, "Ran off to that place again. He will be sorry when he gets back." The guilt of killing his younger brother haunted Michael in his real life, but also in his dreams. Michael would constantly have nightmares about the animatronic that took his brother's life. These were the exact same nightmares his younger brother used to have every night, now passed on to him.
Damn. Cinema. I like how his like identity is just like with a foxy mask, bro. Is this FNAF 4? I fucking hate FNAF 4, by the way. This dadass looks like FNAF 4, bro. Oh, Jesus. Is it like Nightmare Fred or something? Nightmare Freddy? Huh? Bro, don't. Jesus. Wait, that is FNAF 4. Nightmare Fredbear. Yee, look at that. Yee, Jesus. Foxy. I don't like this. This jump scare me, bro. I don't like this. There's Foxy inside there, by the way. It's Foxy inside there. You can't fool me. Boom. Oh, what the hell? Oh.
After the death of Charlie, Fazbear Entertainment tried their best at covering it up. Fortunately for them and for William, the crime was committed outside, where no one was around to witness it. William was able to get away with everything, while Fazbear Entertainment never spoke of the incident again. The security puppet was quickly moved to the back room of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, where the retired Fredbear and Spring Bonnie suits resided. But something was different about the security puppet. Dark tears now appeared on the mask of the animatronic. Dark tears that weren't there before. This is something that Afton quickly noticed the next day when he went into work. He'd heard about what happened moments after he sped off. He knew the security puppet was found laying next to Charlie's body. So does that mean Charlie's soul now resided in the puppet? William definitely noticed that the puppet looked different, almost like it was haunted, almost like it was thinking. Other employees would eventually notice the same thing.
I'll be honest, I never liked that puppet thing. It's always thinking, and it can go anywhere.
After realizing the security puppet may be possessed by the spirit of Charlie, Afton went back and looked at the crying child's Fredbear plushie, only to find that it also seemed to be haunted. The crying child feared for his life every single day, and that plushie was something he was able to cry and pour his agony into. Afton believed that this is what caused the plushie to appear haunted. It wasn't made alive by the spirit of his son, it was made alive by the agony and fear his son poured into it. Afton quickly became obsessed with the concept of haunted objects, and more specifically, the power of human emotion. He needed to find out if this is something he could take advantage of. Afton then used all of his money he made from Fredbear's and Freddy Fazbear's Pizza to build a giant underground facility directly under his house. It was here that he would try to recreate what happened with his son, recreate the fear and agony he experienced. In order to do this, Afton didn't take any chances.
Yeah, a little story about Henry.
Exactly what his son went went through every day. In order to do this, Afton built a replica of his house underground, along with his son's daily walk to Fredbear's family diner. He also built a makeshift bedroom where he could force kids to have the same nightmare every night. Afton would sit in his office watching them on the cameras that could be accessed using the passcode 1983, the year his son got bit. He also kept the crying child's Fredbear plushie on the desk as a reminder of what he was trying to replicate. In the makeshift bedroom, there were dummy animatronics that wheeled down the hallway.
Is this what happened in FNAF 4?
But the kids wouldn't see them as just blank dummies on wheels. Afton would pump hallucinogenic gas into the room to get the kids to think that what they were seeing was a monster.
Holy
These
shit.
nightmare gas canisters were being stored all throughout his underground facility.
You don't want to be
And on the
left
bed
alone
of this
at
makeshift
Freddy Five
bedroom
Bears?
was a Freddy plushie, in the hopes that the kids would pour their fear and agony into the plush, like his son did to his plushie. On the other side of the
Oh, so this
bunker
is what
where
happened in
Afton
FNAF
recreated
4.
the crying child's walk to Fredbear's, he placed a bunch of Fredbear plushies all over the place. These Fredbear plushies had walkie-talkies inside of them. This was Afton's way of recreating his son's imaginary friend that would talk to him wherever he went. Afton would speak to the kids through his walkie-talkie sitting in his private office. After setting up the bunker, Afton was only missing one more thing: the kids to run these experiments on. He needed a way to kidnap and capture kids without being caught, and he had the perfect way to do it.
Oh no.
The show will begin momentarily. Everyone,
What is it? Is it like sister location? Is this sister location or something?
Enter Circus Baby and the Funtime animatronics. These robots were specifically built by Afton to capture kids, featuring Circus Baby, Funtime Freddy, Funtime Foxy, and Ballora. They feature advanced technologies such as parental
I
tracking,
played
voice mimicking / luring, and
sister
stored
location for like 20
points.
minutes.
Circus
I
Baby,
fucking
the
left,
star of the
bro.
group, was even
I
able to make
was
ice
so
cream as a
scared.
way to lure kids to her. Once the kid got too close, a giant claw would reach out,
often
grab
making up-
them, and lock
making-
them in
straight
the
up making him
animatronics
schizo?
storage
Oh.
tank. Some of the board members
That's
from Fazbear
crazy.
Entertainment were suspicious of these
Wait,
new
who's him
animatronics.
though? Like
She
Michael?
can dance. She can sing. She's equipped with a built-in helium tank for inflating balloons right at her fingertips.
Is this
She
William?
can take song requests. She can even dispense ice cream.
He has such a
With all due
villain
respect,
voice, bro. Holy
those
shit.
aren't the design choices we were curious about, Mr. Afton.
Afton
I guess
even
it's
created
Henry.
a new restaurant for these animatronics called Circus Baby's Pizza
FNAF
World.
lore, yes,
Elizabeth,
Joey, we're watching
William
FNAF
Afton's
lore.
daughter, was fascinated by Circus Baby. All she wanted to do was play with her, but Afton wouldn't let her.
Daddy, why won't you let me play with her?
Daddy.
You let the other children go see her. Why won't you let me go?
He strictly told her to stay away from the animatronic, but one day she didn't listen. On the opening day of Circus Baby's Pizza World, another domino would fall in Afton's life, and Elizabeth would soon be the victim of his terrible misdeeds.
Bro.
I can do something special. Did you know that? I can make ice cream.
He's literally
Although
killing
I
off her
feel it
own,
hurts.
like his own
What
kids.
a wonderful day, though. I was in a small room with balloons and a few tables. I would always count the children. I'm not sure why. They usually played together in groups of 2 or 3. There were 4, then 3, then 2, then 1.
Oh.
Time to play.
I don't like that. She's gonna become hostile, bro. Why are you walking up to her like that?
Ice cream.
Oh, damn.
Something happened when there was one. I was no longer myself. There was screaming for a moment, but only for a moment.
In an instant, Elizabeth was grabbed by Circus Baby and thrown into her stomach hatch. The sheer force of her being grabbed and thrown into the robot's storage tank was enough to kill her almost instantly. This is something that William wasn't able to test. That was until his daughter became the test. William Afton now lost another one of his kids, but this time it was all his fault. After just one day of being open, Circus Baby's Pizza World was shut down. Afton covered up the incident by telling the public that the restaurant shut down due to gas leaks. But not everyone bought that story. The local newspaper wrote about the incident, saying, in other news, the grand opening of Circus Baby's Pizza World has apparently been canceled due to reported gas leaks in the building. Sources close to the establishment questioned the report, saying that strange activity around the area at night suggests something else is to blame. One local is quoted as saying,
they're catching
just
on.
stopped. There was so much excitement built around this place opening, and then they just stopped talking about it. A tenant from across the street claims to have witnessed a large group of cars surrounding the building during the night, and large pieces of equipment being taken out of the building under tarps. A few weeks later, the building was for sale. There is no comment yet from the local entrepreneur who financed the venture. That local entrepreneur, William Afton, successfully covered up everything. He was able to bring Circus Baby and the Funtime animatronics back down into his bunker, but once he got them there, he noticed something was different about Circus Baby. One distinct feature about Circus Baby was her blue eyes, but what once was blue eyes now were green, the same color as Elizabeth's. In that moment, he knew that his daughter's soul attached itself to the robot. Her soul lived on in Circus Baby. Afton knew that the way Charlie went on to possess the puppet was sloppy, and it was hard to recreate without getting caught. But what if the kids' bodies were hidden where no one would ever look? What if, just like his daughter, their bodies were stuffed into the animatronics? For Afton, Elizabeth's death quickly went from just another inconvenience to a scientific breakthrough. Afton was one step closer to harnessing the power of life itself. But one successful experiment wasn't enough. Just like the fear experiments he built in the bunker, he needed to replicate exactly what happened. He needed to
Charlie is like
the
Henry's daughter,
and he knew
right?
exactly how he was going to do it. Using the Funtime animatronics again
Or
wasn't
son,
an
I don't
option.
know.
Circus Baby's Pizza World was shut down, and the public was already getting too suspicious of the animatronics. But he didn't need the Funtime animatronics. He was going to run the experiment himself. On June 26, 1985,
he put himself in a suit?
made his way to Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. There, he would put on the old Spring Bonnie suit from Fredbear's to lure 5 kids into the back room.
What the hell?
Took a swim with my new friend. Didn't care, I jumped right.
Man, Purple Guy or William Afton's like so evil, bro. What's wrong with him? Oh no.
Hello. Looking for a friend?
Oh no. Springtrap.
Water's clear, come swim with me.
That looks like a DVD. It looks like a DVD, what do you call it, bro? Trailer, man. For Springtrap or the FNAF collab. Holy fucking terrifying. Shit. Ooh. Golden Freddy?
One by one, Afton killed them and stuffed their bodies into the animatronics. Susie was first, being stuffed into Chica. Gabriel went into Freddy, Jeremy into Bonnie, Fritz into Foxy, and then there was Cassidy, who went into Fredbear, aka Golden Freddy. At this point, Afton had no idea that the crying child spirit was in Golden Freddy, so he didn't think twice about shoving Cassidy in there. The way Afton killed Cassidy, though, was different from the rest. Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy were just regular animatronics. Afton had no choice but to kill them, then stuff them into the suits. But Golden Freddy wasn't just a regular animatronic, it was a Springlock suit. The same Springlock suit that took his youngest son's life. Afton was aware of how dangerous the Springlocks were. Any bit of moisture or too much movement would cause them to snap shut, slowly killing whoever was inside.
That's so scary,
That's exactly what he did to Cassidy. He put him into the suit and watched as the Springlocks snapped shut, cementing Cassidy's death as the most brutal of them all.
No.
Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, and Golden Freddy weren't the only animatronics sitting in the back room of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, though. They were joined by the security puppet, which contained the soul of Henry's daughter, Charlie. Once Afton was gone, Charlie jumped into action, almost acting as a guide for their souls, properly giving them life inside of each animatronic. After the incident, the kids were quickly reported missing by their families, and although the security cameras caught Afton luring the kids away, he wasn't able to fully get in trouble. Since he was wearing the Spring Bonnie suit, they were never able to prove it was actually him. Afton also hid the kids' bodies where no one would ever look, so the bodies were never found. Unbelievably, Afton was able to get away with yet another crime. Because of all the bad press that came from the missing children's incident, people stopped coming to the pizzeria. After months of customers no longer showing up, Fazbear Entertainment officially shut down Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Shortly after the pizzeria shut down, Afton decided to pull the Funtime animatronics out of retirement and finally get his underground facility fully operational. He knew he couldn't try opening another Circus Babies restaurant, so he had a new idea.
Due to the massive success and even more so the unfortunate closing of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, it was clear that the stage was set, no pun intended, for another contender in children's entertainment. Unlike most entertainment venues, our robotic entertainers are rented out for private parties during the day.
Afton opened Circus Babies Entertainment and Rental.
Oh,
this way,
shit.
he could rent out the Funtime animatronics to local birthday parties, capture kids, and bring them back to his underground bunker to be experimented on. While Afton was running his rental business, Fazbear Entertainment was determined to try opening another pizzeria. In the summer of 1987, Fazbear Entertainment opened the new and improved
Wait, how did he
Freddy
open like
Fazbear's
4
Pizza.
different places and people have not caught on yet, bro? When there's kids missing
the toy animatronics,
and like maybe there's like a smell
Henry was
on the
aware of what
animatronics, you know,
happened in
maybe like a decaying
1985,
corpse or
and
something.
especially of what happened to his daughter. So he was determined to make sure that never happened again. These new toy animatronics were equipped with facial recognition systems that were linked directly to a criminal database. The security puppet was also brought
Back in the day, it was hard to catch
but
killers.
instead
That's
of
true,
working
actually.
Security, it sat quietly in the prize corner. Freddy, Bonnie, Chica,
There's a lot of
Foxy,
serial
Golden
killers
Freddy,
back then.
and Spring Bonnie were also moved to the new pizzeria, and it's revealed that these animatronics were mostly used for spare parts.
By now, I'm sure you've noticed the older models sitting in the back room. Those are from the previous location, and we just use them for parts now. The idea at first was to repair them, but they were just so ugly, you know?
Just so.
This means that the haunted metal of the original Freddy's animatronics was now being put into the toy animatronics, causing the toys to also now be possessed.
Whoa.
After Afton got away with the first set of murders, he needed to see if the kids' spirits were possessing the animatronics. In order to see for himself,
enough advanced
Afton went back
technology,
to work
bro.
at the new pizzeria as a daytime security guard. While Afton was working the day shift, Jeremy Fitzgerald was working the night shift. Jeremy worked there for 5 nights, and unfortunately for him, because the kids possessing the animatronics were killed by an adult, they were extremely aggressive to any adult they encountered.
They interact with the kids just fine, but when they encounter an adult, they just stare.
Meanwhile,
Stare.
Afton decided to pull
I
the
think- I
same
think-
trick he did at the old Freddy's location, gaining 5 more victims.
Someone used one of the suits. We had a spare in the back, a yellow one. Someone used it.
Afton used the Spring Bonnie suit to pull the same stunt again on 5 more kids. But as he was committing the murders, Charlie from inside the puppet was actively trying to save the kids. She tried enlisting the help of the other animatronics, but it was too late. Afton had already finished what he started. Not only that, him seeing the puppet and Freddy walking around the pizzeria trying to stop him was all the proof he needed that his experiments were successful. The kids he put into the original suits were haunting the animatronics. But there was one problem. Afton knew that the haunted metal of the endoskeletons was the key to everything, but the animatronics were
Where's
trapped
Henry,
at the
bro?
pizzeria. There was no way he could bring them back to his underground bunker. He couldn't get to the animatronics.
How did Henry
if the
do something
pizzeria
about
was
this?
still open and active. So he needed to find a way to make
It's his
sure
partner,
the
right?
pizzeria shuts down.
It's business partner,
and
at least.
fast. Instead of stuffing the new set of victims into the toy animatronics, he decided to leave the kids out in plain sight, scattered throughout the pizzeria. This was a guaranteed way to get the pizzeria shut down. A few hours after Afton committed the murders, Jeremy Fitzgerald showed up for his night shift, unaware of what happened that day.
Hello. What on earth are you doing there? Didn't you get the memo? The place is closed down, at least for a while. Listen, just finish your shift.
Oh my god. Okay, this is FNAF 2, right?
In the middle of the night. We have one more event scheduled for tomorrow, a birthday. You'll be on day shift. Wear your uniform, stay close to the animatronics and make sure they don't hurt anyone, okay?
The next day, during Jeremy's day shift, one of the animatronics bit him in the head. This was infamously known as the Bite of 87.
The Bite of 87.
Meanwhile, Afton successfully got the pizzeria shut down. The local newspaper wrote about the incident, saying after being open only a few short weeks, Freddy Fazbear's
Oh, so this
Pizza
is what it
closing its
is, okay.
doors. The new animatronics will be scrapped.
Is that the Bite of 87? Oh, the fucking
However,
Markiplier
the
one,
original
bro.
characters are being kept in hopes of a possible reorganization of
The
company.
lore,
Since
yeah.
the toy animatronics were now being scrapped, he knew he could get away with taking their endoskeletons. But he also knew that he couldn't risk showing his face at the pizzeria again, so he got his oldest son Michael to do the work for him. William was easily able to get Michael to do whatever he wanted. William was
Because of the
abusive
guilt or
and
what?
manipulative,
Oh.
while Michael was haunted by the guilt of what he did to his younger brother. Because of this, Michael basically acted as William's puppet.
Oh,
Michael
no.
showed up for the night shift at the now closed Freddy Fazbear's Pizza under
FNAF
a
3?
code name, Fritz Smith.
Oh,
At
he
the
changed
end of
now.
his shift, he would successfully steal the toy animatronics endoskeletons for his father, causing him to get fired his first day on the job due to tampering with the animatronics. As it said in the local newspaper, while Fazbear Entertainment scrapped the toy animatronics, the original Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy were going to be fixed up and reused. And that's exactly what they did. After the 1987 Freddy's location shut down, they opened yet another location, this time using the exact same building as the first Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. As you can imagine, this didn't work out great for the business. People already had a bad impression of Fazbear Entertainment, so using the same building that the original murders took place in didn't help business.
Yeah, bro, what are they
Customers
thinking?
barely showed up to the new pizzeria, leading it to shut down by the end of 1993. Although this was bad news for Fazbear Entertainment, this was great news for William Afton. Afton was able to acquire the endos of the toy animatronics, but that wasn't enough. He needed all of the haunted endoskeletons, especially the ones in the original animatronics. Once the pizzeria shut down, Afton came up with the plan to steal the endos from the animatronics. Each pizzeria was designed with something called a safe room.
As always, if there is ever an emergency, please go to the designated safe room. Every location is built with one extra room that is not included in the digital map layouts programmed into the animatronic or security system. This room is hidden to customers, invisible to animatronics, and is always off camera.
This room was hidden from guests and invisible.
Can
to
I
the
hide in this
animatronics.
room when I play
Afton
FNAF?
used this to his advantage, luring each of the animatronics to the safe room and dismantling them one by one. The kids possessing these animatronics were the same kids he lured into the back room all those years ago. He planned to use the same trick to lure the same kids all over again.
That's so fucked up, bro. Damn. No, the cupcake. Please don't jump scare me. I beg you, bro. This is like the only thing I can ask for, bro. Please don't jump scare me. This is FNAF 1? Oh god. Look at them beady eyes, bro. Yo, don't look at me like that. Please. Please. Wait, is FNAF 1 and FNAF 2 in the same place? It's not right. This is like the pizzeria and the the diner or something? I don't know. And where is 3 like held? FNAF 3. I just know that FNAF 3 is like the least scariest out of all of them, bro. The jump scare is literally just fucking Golden Freddy or like Springtrap like mogging you. It's barely a jump scare, I think. Maybe I shouldn't say that though. Is that the purple guy? It is. Oh.
Once he finished dismantling each
which game was
animatronic
this?
and stealing their endoskeleton, he brought them
Which game
down
was
to
this?
his underground bunker, where he would melt them all down into one liquid substance called Remnant. Not only did Afton rob these kids of their lives, he would use their souls long after they're gone for his own personal gain.
Bro, that's so fucked up, bro. This guy is heartless, man. But dude, bro, this guy full FNAF. Like, he made an actual whole movie, bro. Look at that. It's so good. Holy shit. Bro. No, you can't tell me this shit is like, bro, how long did they take this to make this video? Like, this is like criminally like good. With the music as well? Nah, it can't be, bro. FNAF. Look at my eyes, bro. So pretty too, yeah, bro. That's why Scott Cawthon is the GOAT, man. Is that the person that made this, like, this whole thing? Scott Cawthon? Oh, the lore behind this. Oh, the lore. Oh, bro. At first, initially, you would think that this game is just like some goofy ass horror game, but like, holy fuck, bro. The lore goes deep, bro. It's deep.
By melting down the endos, he successfully created Remnant. This substance, containing the spirits of all of the missing children, was silver in color, and if kept at the right temperature, was malleable. Afton didn't want to risk testing the Remnant on himself,
how do you use the Remnant,
so he injected it into the Funtime animatronics. Once he did, the animatronics jumped to life. The experiment had worked. William Afton unlocked the power of life itself. After his successful experiment, he went back to Freddy Fazbear's Pizza to collect his old Spring Bonnie suit. But once he got there, he was met with the spirits of the 5 missing children, trapping him inside the safe room. Cassidy, the spirit inside Golden Freddy, chased Afton around the room and forced him to get into the Spring Bonnie suit. Cassidy was the most vengeful spirit of them all. Being spring-locked in the Fredbear suit was a painful and slow death, and he wanted to make sure that Afton knew what that felt like. At this point,
that's
Afton
scary.
knew how a spirit could live on. As long as he was inside the suit, he knew he'd be back.
Wait, what? Oh yeah, that's because of the spring trap mechanic, the spring suit mechanic.
As Afton laughed, the spring locks snapped shut, forcing him to go through what Cassidy went through. This was an act of revenge by Cassidy, and it wouldn't be the last. Afton was now confined to the safe room of the now shut down Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, and because of this,
but doesn't that mean that he lives on?
The underground bunker was left abandoned. But even with Afton gone, the rental business continued on its own.
Oh damn!
All of the Funtime animatronics containing the spirits of the missing children and even his daughter Elizabeth were still being rented out during the day and then brought right back down to the bunker. All the spirits wanted to do was escape, but they were always put back underground.
Oh, why? Because like they're getting control.
His son Michael, who's been blindly helping his father, remembered what his father told him.
You're gonna play FNAF? No.
If William wasn't there to finish his work,
I just want to watch the lore
for him. Afton's
bro, it's so scary, man.
Was always off limits to Michael, but since he was now gone,
I can't play. It's so scary.
He took the elevator down to where his father worked every day. Although Michael was helping out his father by stealing some of the endos from the animatronics back in the day, he never exactly knew what William was doing until he got down into the bunker.
So this is sister location, yes? It has to be sister location. I remember this shit, bro. I hate it, bro. I hate it.
Over the several days he visited the bunker, he learned more about what his father was up to. He learned about the massive facility his father built, complete with multiple rooms conducting fear experiments. He learned the truth behind the Funtime animatronics and how they were actually designed to kidnap kids. And he learned through the voice of Baby exactly how his sister died.
A little girl, standing by herself. My stomach opened, and there was ice cream.
I remember this, bro.
At least, not until she stepped closer.
Like you gotta like.
But as the week went on, Baby was
I don't know. Do you have to shine the light so that they go away or something? I forgot.
Using Michael's body. Elizabeth was no longer the person Michael remembered her as. She was entirely devoted to her father and would do anything to make him proud of her. At the end of the week, all of the Funtime animatronics endos were scooped out, with all of them combining into one animatronic called Ennard. This creature, containing the spirits of the missing kids and Elizabeth, knew they wouldn't be able to escape the bunker looking like an animatronic. They needed a human body to walk around.
Oh. Are they gonna possess Michael or something? How does this work?
We're in the scooping room now. Funtime Foxy has already been here today.
You had to hold the damn door. Oh yeah, that one. I wanted to cry, bro. Same.
Melora has already been here today. Circus Baby has already been here today. I've been out before, but they always put me back. They always put us back inside.
I will assume that this is from the actual game and not like voice acting.
There is nowhere to
Solely
go
just because of for this video.
when we
If it's
look
voice acting solely just because of this video, it's insane, by the way.
But if we looked like you, then we could hide. If we looked like you, then we would have somewhere to go.
Oh damn.
The scooper only hurts for a moment.
The scooper. Ooh. Oh! What happened?
Michael Afton's insides got scooped out and replaced by Ennard, helping all of the souls to escape the facility. With every passing day after this happened, Michael looked more and more like a walking zombie. His skin was starting to turn purple, and people started to notice. Michael's body was no longer a good disguise for Ennard, so Ennard ejected itself from Michael. But because the
Michael got
scooper
killed
was
just
also
like
a
that.
remnant
Holy shit.
injector, when Michael Afton was scooped, he
that's
was
horrifying.
also injected with Remnant. The Remnant made it so even after Ennard was gone,
Hi, Kurai. How you doing?
able to survive. With Michael
Hope you're
now
doing
back
well,
in full
Kurai.
control of his body, he had a new mission. Although he did,
He became the
one way
new
or another,
purple guy, bro. The new-
successfully free his sister
the
from
new
underground
William
facility,
Afton.
He also learned about all of his father's terrible misdeeds. His loyalty to his father turned to disgust. It was time for him to end all of this.
Father, it's me, Michael. I did it. I found it. It was right where you said it would be. They were all there. They didn't recognize me at first, but then they thought I was you. And I found her. I put her back together, just like you asked me to. She's free now. But something is wrong with me.
So this is Michael with the remnant? Oh yeah, okay.
I'm not. I've been living in shadows. There is only one thing left for me to do now.
Stop you or
I'm
something.
going to come find you.
Oh shit.
I'm going to come find you.
Holy.
Michael would spend years searching for his father with no luck, until a new ad in the local newspaper caught his attention. Someone decided to open something called Fazbear's Fright, the horror attraction. Local amusement park is getting ready to scare your socks off with a new attraction based on the unsolved mysteries of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Featuring actual relics from the decades-old pizzeria,
Damn.
this new attraction is guaranteed to bring back your childhood in the worst possible way. As if using the crimes of his father to make a profit wasn't bad enough, they also went back to the old pizzerias and collected any objects they could find to put on display at the attraction. Michael immediately applied for the job of the security guard with the sole intention of burning the place to the ground. When he got there, he saw the remnants of his past. The shells of all of the animatronics, missing every single one of their endoskeletons. He knew they could only find the shells of the animatronics because he and his father stole their endoskeletons all those years ago, leaving only the shells behind. On day 2 of working at the attraction, he got word that they found a real animatronic.
You're not gonna believe this. We found one. A real one.
This real animatronic ended up being his father, still inside the Spring Bonnie suit he died in decades ago. Even though his father was now in the building with him, he still decided to go through on his plan, all in an effort to end his father once and for all. Michael then rigged the wiring in the building to catch fire, burning the horror attraction to the ground with his father inside.
So Michael is the good guy here then, because he wants to stop everything. Kill William, bro. William's fucked up. Look at him, bro. He looks so scary, bro.
The local newspaper would write about the fire, saying a new local attraction based on an ancient pizzeria chain burned down overnight. Authorities have not ruled out foul play, but at the moment it seems to have been caused by faulty
God
wiring.
damn it, Panda.
Although the fire destroyed most of everything in the building, William miraculously was able to survive. William was now free, roaming the outside world along with the souls of the missing children, Elizabeth, and Charlie inside the puppet. Since Michael
how does
wasn't
he
able to end
live?
Everything, someone else needed to step in.
Henry!
That someone
Bro, you've
was
been MIA for the
Ellen.
past 30
Afton's
minutes,
old
bro.
business partner and father of Charlie heard about the fire at Fazbear's Fright, along with the rumors
Hello,
of
I can see the
various
potential.
animatronic
Well,
creatures now roaming the
Bro,
streets.
FNAF
Henry
fans
was
are kind of
determined to
freaky
put
though,
an
so
end
you know.
to all of this.
Let's go, Henry.
It's only now that I understand the depth of the depravity of this creature, this monster that I unwillingly helped to create. As if what he had already done wasn't enough. He found a new way to desecrate, to humiliate, to destroy. As if the suffering wasn't enough. The loss of innocence, the loss of everything to so many people. Small souls trapped in prisons of my making, now set to new purpose, and used in ways I never thought imaginable. He lured them all back to a familiar place, back with familiar tricks. He brought them all together. Are they still aware? I hope not. It keeps me
Bro, the
awake
music
at
is
night.
crazy,
I
by
could
the way.
make myself sleep. But not yet. Not until I undo what he has done and heal this wound.
It's
A
so
wound first
cinematic.
inflicted on me, but then one that I let bleed out to cause all of this. He set some kind of trap. I don't know what it was, but he led them there again. He overpowered them again. And he robbed them of the only thing that they had again. I don't know how those tiny breaths of life came to inhabit those machines, but they will never find rest now, not like this. I have to call them all back, all of them, together in one place.
By gathering all of the animatronics in one place and locking them in the same room, he would be able to burn them all to the ground for good, effectively freeing their spirits in the process. In order to do this, Henry created a new restaurant called Freddy Fazbear's Pizza Place. He knew that the spirits and William couldn't resist coming back to a new location, even if it was all just a trap. Charlie was different though. She was smarter than the rest, so Henry knew she wouldn't be as easily fooled. So he created an animatronic called Lefty, standing for lure, encapsulate, fuse, transport, and extract, specifically to capture the puppet and bring it to the pizzeria. While trying to find someone that would help him carry
Imagine
out
at the
his
end of
plan,
it here.
one person
But
showed
it's all
up to
just
the
a
job,
theory.
a person
A
who was
game
also determined
theory.
to finally
Thanks for
end all of
watching.
this. Michael Afton. Day after
That'll
day,
be
the
goated, bro.
animatronics roaming the streets would show up in the alleyway next to the pizzeria. Baby, aka Elizabeth, the souls of the missing children, and
Pharrell
the crying
looks-
child,
looks
now
so fucked
appearing
up.
as Molten Freddy, Charlie and Lefty, and his father, William, all showed up in the back alley. Michael would then collect each animatronic and throw them into a facility under the pizzeria, designed to be a maze with no exit, where the animatronics would roam around without even knowing they're trapped, until the end of the week, where they would all be burned to the ground. With all of the souls, including William himself, now in one place, Henry's plan was in motion. As far as Elizabeth and William were concerned, this was a good thing. All of this remnant now in one place was all that they wanted, until Henry stepped in.
You played right into our hands. Did you really think that this job just fell out of the sky for you? No. This was a gift for us. You gathered them all together in
Which
one
game is
place,
this?
just like he asked you to. All of those little souls in one place, just for us. A gift. Now we can do what we were created to do and be complete. I will make you proud, Daddy. Watch. Listen. And be full.
Connection terminated. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Elizabeth, if you still even remember that name, but I'm afraid you've been misinformed. You are not here to receive a gift, nor have you been called here by the individual you assume, although you have indeed been called. You have all been called here, into a labyrinth of sounds and smells, misdirection, and misfortune. A labyrinth with no exit, a maze with no prize. You don't even realize that you are trapped. Your lust for blood has driven you in endless circles, chasing the cries of children in some unseen chamber.
Wait, so is anyone trapped in Lefty, or is it Lefty just like made as an actual like animatronic?
None of you will. This is where your story ends. And to you, my brave volunteer, who somehow found this job listing not intended for you. Although there was a way out planned for you, I have a feeling that's not what you want.
That is a puppet.
I have a feeling that you are right where you want to be. I am remaining as well. I am nearby. This place will not be remembered, and the memory of everything that started this can finally begin to fade away.
Damn.
The agony of every tragedy should. And to you monsters trapped in the corridors, be still and give up your spirits. They don't belong to you. For most of you, I believe there is peace and perhaps more waiting for you after the smoke clears. Although for one of you, the darkest pit of hell has opened to swallow you whole. So don't keep the devil waiting, old friend.
Oh.
My daughter, if you can hear me, I knew you would return as well. It's in your nature to protect the innocent. I'm sorry that on that day, the day you were shut out and left to die, no one was there to lift you up into their arms, the way you lifted others into yours. And then, what became of you? I should have known you wouldn't be content to disappear. Not my daughter. I couldn't save you then, so let me save you now. It's time to rest, for you, and for those you have carried in your arms. This ends, for all of us, in communication.
So did Charlie like wanted to like protect?
Putting fire to the animatronics may have freed the spirits from
Protect
the
the
metal
lefty?
of the robots, but some of them still needed help actually moving on into the afterlife. This help would come from Charlie. She helped guide the spirits into the robots. Now she would help them move on. In the world of Five Nights at Freddy's, the way a spirit can move on is by them being put into a happy memory. The memory Charlie chose actually comes from the crying child and the day he got bit. Piece by piece, Charlie put that terrible shattered memory back together, but this time she would change it into a happy memory. Instead of the crying child getting bit on his birthday, Charlie changed it so that all of the missing kids and Charlie would celebrate him, giving him a giant birthday cake. By changing that terrible memory into a happy one and attaching all of the spirits to it, they were able to successfully pass into the afterlife.
That's cute. Damn. That's I'm pretty sure the name is Marionette, right? Or am I tripping? Shit, okay. Bro, that lore is insane.
Like I said, they were all able to move on. Except for one.
I will assume it's the one in the Golden Freddy, Cassidy? No? Or is it William? But it isn't Kits though, so it has to be Cassidy, right? Damn. Cinema.
Cassidy, the most vengeful.
Actually, though, oh my god.
Done yet.
Oh,
He decided
let me pause for the rate real quick. All right, let me go back 5 seconds real quick, bro. What happened here again?
Cassidy, the most vengeful spirit of them all, wasn't done yet. He decided to attach
I knew it, bro. I knew it was Cassidy.
Making sure that William was unable to move on. By attaching his spirit
to
Williams, he was able to trap Afton in an endless loop of death. He made Afton relive every one of his terrible misdeeds. The fear experiments, his underground bunker, and the pizzeria where Cassidy was killed. Afton experienced all of this while being attacked and killed over and over again by all of the animatronics from his past. Every time an animatronic would attack him, Cassidy would be there, reminding him that the suffering will never end.
We've only just begun. I will never let you leave. I will never let you rest.
Cassidy is ruthless, bro.
He tried to release us, but I'm not gonna let that happen. I will hold you here. I will keep you here, no matter how many times they burn us.
I knew it was Cassidy.
Knew that Afton didn't deserve the afterlife. He deserved to pay for what he's done for all of eternity.
Jeez.
But If you keep up with the franchise, you know that that's not the end of the story. Like I said at the beginning of the video, making a FNAF timeline is not easy, no matter what anyone says. In broad strokes, you can explain the basic plot, but once you get down to the motivations and the why of everything, you have to start filling in the blanks yourself. Some people who've helped me fill in the blanks that I'd like to shout out are Rytoast for his theory about Cassidy being spring-locked in Golden Freddy. I think that makes a lot of sense and is really satisfying for the narrative. Also, I'd like to shout out MatPat for his theory about Midnight Motorists.
A game theory.
Years, I think your explanation makes the most sense. It's important for me to say that no one except for Scott Cawthon himself knows the exact story he was trying to tell. So please make sure to watch other people's timelines as well and come to your own conclusion on everything. And when the time is right, I'll be back to tackle the newer games in this franchise. Until then, make sure to subscribe, and thanks for watching.
Anything else? Damn. That deserves a clap right there, bro. That is literally a whole ass movie, bro. Hey, voice acting by MatPat, hey. Hey, I know that guy. A game theory. Thanks for watching. Is there any like? Let's try to see if there's any names that we know here. The hottest dog. I like it. I already like that name, bro. Oh, those are probably like art they made or something. Original songs by. Oh damn! Everything's original. Shit. All right, bro. First of all, you know, hats off to everyone who's who is, you know, involved in making this shit. Because how can they release this goddamn masterpiece? It's literally a whole movie with like animations and everything. The music is amazing. The fucking voice acting is amazing and all that, and also the narrative and everything. If someone asked me, you know, where to start with FNAF lore, just watch this goddamn movie, bro. It's not even a video. It's a movie. It's literally so good, and all of the songs and everything just fit everything so well. Jesus. Yay, we finally know FNAF lore now. I always play the game. I watched like some like MatPat's video here and there, but I never had the fucking attention span to watch everything. But this video was actually super good. It's only 1 hour, and it pretty much just like summarized all of the FNAF lore. Again, like maybe some parts of the story, it depends on how you want to look at it, I guess. But all in all, I think it's pretty damn good. All right, that's enough. That's it. That's my outro on the video, bro.